Good afternoon. My name is Rocky Capozzi, and on behalf of Alaska Public Media and the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation, welcome to Hangar Flying. This evening we continue our discussion with Gary Bennett, avionics technician, about the subject of ADS-B, what constitutes an ADS-B suite, what the mandate is, and in fact we'll focus on what is the FAA mandate today. So Gary, could you briefly summarize what the FAA mandate says as far as ADS-B is concerned?
Yeah, absolutely, like to. The ADS-B mandate basically begins at the end of 2019. So they're saying by January 1 of 2020, aircraft flying in certain rural airspace, and the rural airspace is defined in FAR 91.225. So if you want to get information as far as, the nuts and bolts and the nitty-gritty of the rural airspace, 91.225, which is currently in print, is some good information. But basically, what the rural airspace is above 18,000 feet, any aircraft flying above 18,000 feet anywhere. Any aircraft flying within or beneath Class B or Class C airspace. In Alaska, we have Anchorage as Class C airspace. And then in the lower 48, aircraft flying above 10,000 feet are mandated to have ADS-B out by the end of 2019. Alaska is exempt from the 10,000-foot rule.
Okay, so thanks for bringing up that reference. That was 91.225, and it would behoove folks to read that. I did a little research getting ready to talk to Gary today, and the paragraph he referred to there reads remarkably similar to the paragraph that we're all familiar with that talks about Mode C transponders. And so it's very specific, and I encourage our viewers to go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so we know where it applies, and Anchorage Class C and above to 10,000 MSL, anywhere above 18,000 feet, and then down in the lower 48, anywhere above 10,000 feet. What are the methods of compliance? Are there more than one type of ADS-B compliant system, and what are they?
There is, and there's some confusion with that because there's really, when you look and read about and hear about ADS-B, you'll hear two frequencies brought up. One of them is 1090 and the other one's 978. And the 978 is usually often referred to as UAT.
Okay.
For Universal Access Transceiver.
Okay.
And that was basically invented and ran here in Alaska early in the Capstone program, was the UAT frequency. So the dividing line between those frequencies is basically anybody that's going to fly below 18,000 feet can use 978. As long as you don't go above 18,000, 978 transmit frequency will be good. Above 18,000 feet, you have to have the 1090, and the 1090 works all the way down to the floor.
Okay, so 1090 can use high and low.
Correct.
978 is limited to 18,000 feet's the ceiling for that one.
Correct.
How about 1090 then? You would say right off the bat that that's got an advantage. How about in other countries? Is there a difference?
Most other countries have adopted 1090 as their standard for ADS-B. So okay. 1090 is something that we're seeing in Europe. We'll most likely see in Canada and so on. So the 978 frequency really seems to only be a US thing right now. Okay. And with that, it's driven the popularity to the 1090 ADS-B transceivers have been our most popular that we've been
I was just going to ask you that question, if it conferred an advantage to one or the other. Is there a disadvantage at all to 1090?
There is not a disadvantage to 1090. Let me back up. The only disadvantage to 1090 right now, if you were squitting a 1090 unit and 1090 out, is there are some UAT transceivers that will not receive it. Some of the earlier UAT transceivers, including the whole Capstone program and the ones that are used for the Capstone replacement, those guys will not see all of the 1090 out boxes that we've been installing.
And so if you do an in and out installation, is there any advantage or disadvantage to 1090 over UAT for the in part?
Most of the 1090 out boxes are dual link in, so they will receive both the 978 and 1090. Okay. So with that, the customers we've installed the 1090 boxes, the capstone guys really aren't seeing them away from the TIS environment, but they're seeing.
Well, you just introduced a new phrase. What does TIS mean?
They'll see the capstone.
Oh, okay.
So what happens when you get close to an area, usually airports that have TIS, you will be able to pick up, if you have ADSB in, you'll be able to pick up other traffic via a TIS broadcast from the ground station.
Okay, well, Gary, I see we've run out of time, but we're going to pick up our conversation for tomorrow's segment, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you.